Hold up, because the internet is literally screaming right now. We are witnessing the absolute, chaotic downfall of the untouchable girl narrative, and it is getting historically messy. MichaelBJordan just absolutely annihilated his ex, Lori Harvey, after some seriously explosive, hidden relationship secrets leaked straight out of Hollywood's inner circle. Trust me, you will not believe who else is joining this chat to completely tear the mask off. Are we actually surprised, though? The math has simply stopped mattering for Miss Girl. For years, she rebranded herself as the ultimate undefeated trophy who dumps top-tier men and walks away with her crown intact. But what happens when the game finally outgrows its star player? Right now, social media is in a literal chokehold. Everyone is scrambling because a series of anonymous industry reports just exposed the shocking truth behind her most high-profile romances. We are talking about calculated PR moves, extreme ultimatums, and a toxic industry reputation that has suddenly caught up to her. The power dynamic has officially shifted, and the internet is unanimously labeling this the absolute fumble of the century. MichaelBJordan is out here collecting the highest accolades in cinema, while Lori is reportedly drowning in pure spite and trying to nuke the internet to save her brand. Grab your popcorn and lock in, because the era of the untouchable Lori Harvey is facing its biggest crisis yet. And we are exposing every single leaked detail right now. The real drama officially started kicking off the exact second MichaelBJordan stepped onto that global stage and collected his first ever Oscar. While the entire world was bowing down to Hollywood's newest undisputed king, the internet instantly looked backward to see how his notorious ex was handling the news. For years, the reigning narrative across every major gossip blog was that Lori Harvey was the ultimate prize who always walked away completely unbothered. People praised her for allegedly dodging a wedding proposal from Michael because she simply wanted to focus on her skincare brand and live her best life. But behind the scenes of that glitzy Academy Awards night, a completely different and utterly chaotic reality was playing out. Sneaky industry insiders are now reporting that Lori's carefully constructed facade totally shattered into a million pieces the moment Michael's name was announced. Word on the street is that Miss Girl frantically reached out to her legendary ex to congratulate him on the massive victory, desperately trying to dip her toes back into his ultra-elite circle. But instead of a warm response, she was allegedly completely ghosted, ignored, and left on read without a single care. The embarrassment apparently did not stop there because the internet quickly noticed she completely skipped out on the major after-parties. Leaked reports from anonymous sources claim that Lori actively fled the scene with her on-again, off-again partner Damson Idris just to ensure the cameras couldn't catch her spiraling. She knew the entire media room would be watching her every reaction, while her ex-boyfriend secured the highest honor in modern cinema. This brutal rejection immediately opened the floodgates for a massive wave of internet investigators to start digging into what really went wrong between them 4 years ago. When you strip away the polished public relations statements from their original 2022 breakup, the actual truth behind their split is finally coming to light. The world was led to believe that Lori ended things because she just was not ready to settle down with a husband. However, explosive new whispers from the inner circles of Hollywood claim that it was actually Michael who decided to pull the plug. He reportedly realized that her high-maintenance lifestyle and her family's relentless obsession with controlling the narrative were becoming a massive liability to his professional image. Michael was striving for elite, old-school Hollywood prestige, and he quickly noticed that being attached to a constant tabloid target was dragging down his brand. The rumors state that Michael grew entirely fed up with Marjorie Harvey's constant meddling and heavy-handed control over their public appearances. Every single date night and vacation felt like a calculated photo shoot designed to elevate Lori's brand, rather than build a genuine relationship. Once Michael realized he was being used as the ultimate accessory for her social climbing goals, he made the executive decision to walk away. To save face after getting dumped by one of the most eligible bachelors in the world, Lori's team immediately went into overdrive to flip the script. They aggressively pushed the narrative that she was the untouchable trophy, who simply refused to be tamed or tied down by any man. She even went on public programs proudly telling the audience to always remember that they are the prize. But that entire golden slogan is currently aging terribly now that Michael's career has gone completely intergalactic without her. While Michael was busy building an empire and earning the deepest respect of his industry peers, Lori was busy trying to find a replacement to maintain her status. Enter Damson Idris, another incredibly talented actor who was rapidly climbing the Hollywood ladder. When Lori and Damson first went public with their romance, it looked like a brilliant masterstroke of a rebound. They flaunted luxury vacations, became immediate staples on the red carpets, and did everything possible to show the world that she had successfully upgraded. Having Damson seemingly obsessed with her was exactly what Lori needed to keep her legendary status alive on the internet. But history has a very funny way of repeating itself, especially when the underlying patterns remain completely unchanged. Her relationship with Damson hit a massive brick wall after just one single year, mirroring the exact timeline of her failed romance with Michael. Still, the two simply could not seem to quit each other and secretly restarted what insiders are calling a highly toxic cycle of breaking up and making up. This hidden cycle continued right up until the night of the Academy Awards, which serves as the exact moment everything officially flatlined. Damson had reportedly reached his absolute limit with the constant mind games and the endless pressure to perform for the cameras. He was deeply invested in his own upcoming massive Formula One racing movie alongside Brad Pitt, and he needed absolute focus. Watching Lori attempt to hijack his professional momentum while simultaneously blowing up her ex-boyfriend's phone was the final straw that broke the camel's back. The industry is now signaling that both Michael and Damson have completely checked out of the game and are actively working together to distance their names from her. Imagine being so notoriously difficult to deal with that two of the biggest rising icons in show business are bonding over their shared exhaustion with you. Sources close to the situation claim that Damson has actually been looking to link up and talk business with Michael now that he is an official Oscar winner. During these elite industry meetings, the conversation naturally turned toward their mutual past experiences. They reportedly found common ground over how Lori's intense public notoriety and her family's extreme demands constantly threatened to stall their professional growth. Michael, dealing with the exact same drama years prior, allowed him to give Damson some serious perspective on the situation. Both men allegedly agreed that they had to completely cut all ties because the relationship dynamics were becoming total dead weight for their respective careers. This unified front from two Hollywood heavyweights has left Lori completely powerless and fuming behind closed doors. She is reportedly realizing too late that she royally fumbled two of the most successful, top-tier men in the entire entertainment landscape. The public is ruthlessly pointing out that she fumbled way before the actual awards ceremony took place, but the loss looks infinitely larger now. For years, she relied on her famous silence to make herself seem mysterious, alluring, and completely unaffected by the online chaos. She would just keep her mouth shut and let the internet invent wild theories that usually made her look like the winner. But that famous silence is no longer working in her favor because the actual leaked facts are far too loud to ignore. The narrative that she is an untouchable trophy is facing its most devastating challenge yet, because zero high-profile men are currently offering her rings. Her chaotic dating roster has become a massive warning sign for any mainstream celebrity looking to protect their hard-earned reputation. The internet is completely laughing at her recent attempts to threaten bloggers with legal lawsuits for leaking these hidden relationship secrets. Turning to legal threats only proves to the public that the rumors are hitting incredibly close to home and damaging her brand equity. People are openly questioning the true financial stability behind her flashy lifestyle now that her primary sources of high society networking are drying up. A scandalous blind item recently exposed that her much-hyped skincare line has had absolutely zero market momentum for months. The product line was never her primary paycheck, and rumors claim she has been sailing around looking for new wealthy corporate sponsors. The report alleges that many of her previously wealthy clients and backers quietly ditched her after realizing the public sentiment had completely soured. With her business ventures stalling and her elite exes publicly thriving, Lori is reportedly entering a state of total panic. She is watching the unbothered aesthetic that she built her entire career upon transform into a symbol of massive missed opportunities. The power dynamic has permanently shifted toward the men who chose professional excellence over social media clout. The panic inside Lori's camp reportedly reached an absolute fever pitch when the digital footprint of her alleged desperation began making the rounds across private industry group chats. According to these leaked reports, the situation grew completely out of control because the digital receipts showed she was allegedly leaving double texts and unreplied voice notes on Michael's personal phone line. For someone who has spent her entire career meticulously curating an image of supreme power and total emotional detachment, having these specific interactions exposed to Hollywood peers is the ultimate form of social destruction. The industry whispers suggest that Michael did not just casually ignore the text messages, but he actively chose to show the pathetic outreach to his close circle as a cautionary tale about the reality of transactional relationships. The word circulating around elite talent agencies is that Michael's inner circle has completely blacklisted Lori from attending any private victory dinners or celebratory yacht parties hosted in his honor. He has completely graduated into an entirely different social stratosphere where influencers and internet models are no longer granted automatic entry, just because of a past romantic connection. This precise digital shutdown is exactly what pushed Lori right back into the waiting arms of Damson Idris, creating a classic rebound spiral that the internet tracked with absolute amusement. Just days before the true chaos of the Oscar fallout went public, the two were captured engaging in some very aggressive, heavy public displays of affection on a balcony during a high-profile Paris Fashion Week event. To the untrained eye of the casual scrolling public, it looked like a beautiful and passionate reconciliation between two gorgeous people who simply could not fight their undeniable chemistry. But seasoned Hollywood commentators and investigative bloggers quickly realized that the sudden, overly performative display was nothing more than a desperate smokescreen designed to mask a collapsing narrative. Lori needed the paparazzi cameras to capture her looking desired, worshipped, and completely locked in with a rising star to counter the silent rejection she was facing from the newly crowned Oscar king. She wanted the world to believe that she was still moving pieces on the chessboard, but the underlying reality of the situation was already crumbling beneath her feet. Insiders close to Damson claim that he felt completely utilized as a tactical chess piece rather than an actual romantic partner during that entire European press run. He reportedly grew exhausted with the realization that every single passionate embrace and public date night was perfectly timed to coincide with major press releases regarding Michael's historic cinematic achievements. Damson began to realize that he was essentially being used as a human shield to protect an aging prize narrative that was rapidly losing its value in the eyes of the general public. The dynamic between Lori and Damson officially exploded behind closed doors when a series of explosive arguments broke out regarding her relentless pressure to secure a formal commitment. The leaked details indicate that Lori was not just casually dating Damson this time around, but she was actively handing down ultimatums regarding a public engagement and a high-profile wedding. She reportedly wanted to solidify a permanent, bulletproof power couple brand that would guarantee her a permanent seat at the most elite tables in the entertainment industry. However, Damson's close friends are revealing that he had absolutely zero intention of being pressured into a lifelong contract by a woman whose dating history is treated like a public spectator sport. He is currently experiencing the most critical breakthrough moment of his acting career, as he prepares for the global launch of his massive Formula One movie, alongside icons like Brad Pitt. He knows that entering that specific level of mainstream Hollywood prestige requires an absolutely spotless, professional reputation free from tacky reality-style internet drama. The breaking point allegedly occurred when Damson discovered that while Lori was aggressively pressuring him for a wedding ring, she was simultaneously trying to send congratulatory messages to MichaelBJordan behind his back. Learning that your partner is trying to keep their options open with an Oscar winner while demanding total commitment from you is a level of disrespect that no self-respecting man is going to tolerate. Damson reportedly packed up his things, cut the vacation short, and left Lori to handle the mounting public embarrassment all by herself. To make matters infinitely worse for Miss Girl, the two actors have reportedly formed an alliance that no one in Hollywood saw coming. Sources claim that Michael and Damson have actually crossed paths at exclusive industry events and ended up having a long, transparent conversation about their shared experiences, dealing with the exact same relationship patterns. It is one thing to have an unbothered aesthetic when your exes are crying over you, but it is a total disaster when your exes are sitting together laughing about how they successfully escaped your web. The two men reportedly bonded over how much their professional focus skyrocketed the exact second they deleted Lori from their daily lives. They shared mutual frustrations over how Harvey would allegedly try to orchestrate their public schedules and influence their career decisions to maximize Lori's personal brand exposure. Hearing Michael validate the exact same manipulations that Damson was currently facing gave the younger, Actor the ultimate confidence to permanently close that chapter of his life without looking back. This united front from two of the most desirable and successful men in show business has completely dismantled Lori's ability to control the narrative. She can no longer use her classic playbook of staying silent and letting her fans pretend that she was the one who decided to walk away. The public has completely caught on to the fact that she is being actively avoided by men who value longevity, artistic respect, and genuine substance over temporary social media engagement and flashy red carpet photo shoots. The fallout from this dual rejection has officially spilled over into her business ventures, with reports indicating that her primary income streams are facing a massive structural crisis. For years, critics have wondered how her skincare line managed to fund such an incredibly lavish lifestyle involving private jets, luxury villas, and high-end fashion campaigns. A series of damaging investigative blind items have recently surfaced, exposing the reality that the business itself has been operating at an absolute loss for several consecutive quarters. The brand has completely lost its retail momentum, and major beauty distributors are reportedly reconsidering their shelf space allocations due to declining consumer interest. Without the constant promotional boost that comes from being attached to an A-list superstar boyfriend, the public has simply lost all interest in buying overpriced serums from an internet socialite. The leaked data suggests that the skincare line was essentially a vanity project funded by wealthy corporate sponsors and high-stakes business connections. Now that her industry reputation has been thoroughly exposed as a toxic liability, those exact same wealthy corporate backers are quietly pulling their funding to protect their own corporate brands. They do not want their luxury companies associated with a woman who is currently being publicly humiliated by Hollywood's top leading men. Lori is suddenly finding herself in a position where she has to scramble for new sponsors, while her legal team frantically sends out cease and desist letters to anyone reporting on her financial reality. The sheer desperation became undeniable when Lori's legal representatives officially threatened to sue several independent bloggers and media personalities for copyright infringement and defamation. But as anyone who understands the internet knows, trying to sue the public into silence only confirms that the leaks are completely accurate and hitting a massive nerve. The aggressive legal intimidation tactics have completely backfired, causing the internet to double down on the mockery and expose even more hidden details about her past. The general public is now openly celebrating what they are calling the ultimate era of accountability for celebrity influencers who build their entire brands on false superiority. People are flooding her comment sections with sarcastic remarks, asking if her golden slogan about being the prize applies when you are completely locked out of the biggest awards nights of the year. The untouchable aura that she carefully manufactured over a decade has completely evaporated in a matter of weeks, leaving her brand totally exposed to the elements. Lori is reportedly seething behind closed doors because she fully understands that her entire social capital was tied directly to her status as an unattainable fantasy woman. But once the public watches top-tier men openly treat you like dead weight and choose their professional prestige over your ultimatums, the illusion is permanently broken. She is no longer the woman who dictates the terms of the relationship. She is now being viewed as a cautionary lesson in what happens when you prioritize clout over genuine human connection. While Lori is trapped in this absolute public relations nightmare, MichaelBJordan is out here living his absolute best life completely unbothered by her existence. His historic Oscar victory has unlocked a level of power that places him alongside the absolute legends of modern cinema. He is currently signing multi-million-dollar production deals and preparing for his next major directorial project, proving to the entire world that his focus was placed exactly where it needed to be. The stark contrast between Michael's professional triumph and Lori's chaotic personal drama is exactly what makes this situation so incredibly devastating to watch. The internet is refusing to let up on the narrative because the irony of the situation is simply too delicious to ignore. She allegedly walked away from him because she thought his desire to settle down would stall her personal brand, only to watch his brand reach the stars while hers took a massive nosedive into the tabloid gutter. The absolute silence coming from Lori's camp right now is completely deafening, but the internet is not letting up for even a single second. The social media streets are currently working overtime to track down Damson Idris's very next move, and what they found has completely sent shockwaves through the entire celebrity gossip community. Rumors are violently swirling that Damson has already completely moved on and replaced Lori with a fresh, stunning new flame who has absolutely zero ties to the messy reality television or influencer circles. This devastating news has reportedly sent Lori into an absolute tailspin behind closed doors, because it officially kills any lingering hope she had of restarting their toxic cycle. For years, her entire ego was fueled by the comforting knowledge that she could always whistle and have these incredibly desirable men sprinting right back to her side. But Damson choosing to completely close the door and find a replacement so quickly proves that he views her entire presence as a closed, highly regrettable chapter of his life. The psychological impact of this double abandonment is apparently causing massive friction within the entire Harvey household, especially between Lori and her mother Marjorie. Inside sources are whispering that the mother-daughter duo are constantly clashing over who is truly to blame for fumbling two of the biggest wins in modern Hollywood history. Marjorie has historically been viewed as the ultimate mastermind who taught Lori how to navigate high society, dating like a ruthless corporate business transaction. But that exact high-stakes blueprint has completely blown up in their faces now that the industry bachelors have grown wise to the entire game plan. The elite men are no longer willing to sign up for a relationship that feels more like a public relations internship, managed by a heavy-handed mother-in-law. Lori is reportedly feeling immense resentment, because following that specific advice has left her completely isolated at the exact age when her social capital should be hitting its absolute peak. To add an extra layer of absolute comedy to this entire disaster, the public is now relentlessly digging up old video clips of Lori giving relationship advice to young women. People are creating massive compilation videos on TikTok and Instagram, pairing her old arrogant quotes about being the ultimate trophy with fresh footage of Michael holding his Oscar. The contrast is so incredibly brutal that it has turned her entire brand philosophy into a running punchline that the internet refuses to let go of. The ruthless commentary has officially broken through her inner circle, with several of her fair-weather socialite friends quietly distancing themselves to protect their own reputations. In the superficial world of high society networking, social capital is completely everything, and nobody wants to be seen standing next to a sinking ship. The very same women who used to beg Lori for introductions to her wealthy contacts are now reportedly leaving her messages on read and conveniently forgetting to invite her to exclusive summer events. With her social circle rapidly evaporating and her business ventures operating at a complete loss, Lori is allegedly looking across the international borders for her next potential savior. The latest wild whispers coming out of elite European yacht circles suggest that her team is frantically trying to secure invitations to private events hosted by high-stakes international businessmen and royalty. She is reportedly realizing that her reputation in mainstream Hollywood is far too damaged, so she needs a completely fresh market where people do not track American gossip blogs. But even that international escape plan is facing a massive roadblock because the internet is a completely global entity that never forgets a digital footprint. High society billionaires are incredibly protective of their corporate empires and family legacies, and they do not want a target on their backs. Having a woman around whose name instantly triggers millions of messy, sarcastic YouTube commentary videos is considered a massive operational hazard for anyone trying to maintain a serious, low-profile business empire. Meanwhile, the psychological victory for MichaelBJordan fans has reached a state of absolute euphoria across every single digital platform. Fans are relentlessly flooding the comment sections of every major entertainment page, declaring that his historic win is the ultimate cosmic justice for how he was treated. They are pointing out that while Lori spent the last 4 years collecting temporary boyfriends and fashion tags, Michael was quietly in the gym and the studio grinding for artistic immortality. The narrative arc of this entire situation has completely redefined how the public views the concept of relationship value in the modern digital age. For a very long time, the internet allowed itself to be completely fooled by the illusion of aesthetic perfection, luxury vacations, and unbothered silence. But this explosive fallout has reminded everyone that true status cannot be faked with a professional photographer and a heavily filtered Instagram feed. As the dust slowly begins to settle on this historic Hollywood fallout, the industry is looking forward to see how Lori will attempt to survive this total eclipse of her brand. Some public relations experts are suggesting that her only remaining move is to completely break her famous silence and do a highly publicized, emotional tell-all interview. She would essentially have to play the ultimate victim card, cry on camera, and blame the entire industry for turning against her just to regain a shred of public sympathy. But that strategy carries an incredibly high risk of backfiring completely because Michael and Damson hold all the actual power, respect, and credibility in this scenario. If she attempts to launch a smear campaign against an Academy Award winner and a rising blockbuster star, their massive legal teams and fan bases will completely dismantle her. She is essentially trapped in a strategic checkmate where staying silent makes her look defeated, but speaking out could completely finish off what is left of her career. The era of the untouchable Lori Harvey has officially reached its definitive end point, and the throne she sat on for a decade has completely crumbled to ash. The game has officially evolved past the point where simply being beautiful and mysterious is enough to maintain a permanent stranglehold on popular culture. The world has collectively moved on to celebrating tangible achievement, professional excellence, and genuine artistic substance over the empty calories of social media clout. Lori is left standing completely alone in the wreckage of her own carefully manufactured narrative, watching her exes sprint toward legendary status without her. The unbothered crown has officially slipped off her head, and the internet is refusing to give it back. It serves as the ultimate, definitive lesson to every single rising influencer that in the grand theater of life, you can only pretend to be the prize for so long before the world demands to see the actual receipts. The curtain has officially pulled back, and the internet has completely spoken on this historic Hollywood fallout. When your exes are out here collecting historic Oscar trophies and starring in massive blockbusters, the untouchable aesthetic quickly turns into the ultimate missed opportunity. The question that is currently burning up every single social media timeline is simple. Is Lori Harvey still the ultimate prize, or has the celebrity game permanently outgrown its most notorious player? Did she truly fumble the absolute bag of the century by prioritizing temporary clout over a seat at the highest tables in cinema, or is she already planning her next high-stakes tactical move to prove all the doubters wrong? You already know the internet has absolutely no mercy when the crown slips, so I want to hear your absolute wildest theories down below. Drop your honest thoughts in the comment section right now because this dramatic era is far from over. If you live for the unfiltered truth behind the biggest celebrity scandals, make sure to absolutely smash that like button right now. Do not forget to hit subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a single second of the next chaotic update. Thank you so much for locking in with us, and we are officially out.